Hi, lovely. If you're over 40 and your weight is creeping up, even though you're eating nutritiously supportive food and probably better than ever before, but that soft belly will not budge, I get it. It's likely that you're in perimenopause and your ovals, you have to ditch them, girlfriends. They stop working for you. And I'm going to show you what does work and how you can feel like an improved version of yourself. Listen, without crazy diets, starving yourself, and all doing it alongside your busy work schedule and family life. I'm Louise McKenzie, and I help high performing, overwhelmed women reset their hormones, drop stubborn weight, and feel strong and in control again. So today I'm sharing 5 proven science-backed fixes that really get the scale moving. Plus, I'm going to add an extra one on the end. Okay, let's get to it. Because almost every client I've ever worked with is under eating. Yes, shock horror. I bet you didn't think that was the first thing I was going to say. Here, we all grew up in, I'm sure you're around my age, but we all grew up in an era where it was like, eat less, work out more. But in perimenopause, no, that backfires hard. Girlfriend, you have to change your mindset. When you slash calories and push harder, your body feels unsafe. It actually thinks you're in famine, and stress spikes, and then fat storage ensues because, especially around your belly, because there are more cortisol stress receptors in your belly than any other area. So that's why it does go straight to your tummy. So if you're belly eating and still gaining, you absolutely need to shift your mindset and habits right now and lead into your natural hormonal shift. So let's dig into a plan. You can start today, right? The first thing I want you to do is eat more, but eat right. When I stopped starving myself and actually fueled my body, keyword fueled it, I finally started losing weight again. And I have a client, Sarah, who was eating 1,200 calories a day. That was it. And she was doing crazy intense cardio. She was so exhausted and so frustrated. But once we increased her calories and focused on that nutrition dense food, the weight started to melt away and her energy soared. And that was great momentum for her because the more energy she had, the more she could do productive things to get her to her goals and where she wanted to be. So here's what works. I would like you to start tracking your food for 2 weeks. You can easily do this now with free apps like Chronometer. And you want to zero in on your protein, and you want to aim for about 30 to 40 grams with each meal. Yes, I know you're like, what? That seems a lot. Listen, I've done a whole video on how to do that and to make it easy for you. I will, here's a video, and I will drop the link below for you. Okay. So next is I want you to increase your fiber intake to 20 to 35 grams daily. Again, I have another video, which I'll drop the link below, that will help you do that effortlessly, and it will show you the best fiber to focus on for the fastest results for your tummy. Okay. Next, I want you to focus on your sugar consumption. You're looking to consume less than 25 grams of added sugar per day. This doesn't include the natural sugars found in fruits, vegetables, and dairy. You do not have to count that, okay? I really cannot emphasize enough. I'm circling back to the protein here, but I cannot emphasize enough to you how much protein will change your life to get you to your goals. All right. And also just make you feel better. I mean, the research proves it. We are, as women, drastically under eating the amount of protein that we should have. All right. So we need it. We need it for muscle maintenance, and we also need it for satiety. Okay. Let's help ourselves feel full, girlfriends. And it is easy to do. The next thing is, I just want to go back to is I do not want you to fear carbs. Again, I know we were brought up in that era to fear carbs, but this is not what you need to be doing right now. I want you to make sure that you're eating what I call slimming carbs. And again, the video that I'm dropping below will go through that in the fiber section as well. Okay. But I want you to focus on slimming carbs from whole food sources. So if it comes from the planet, and I don't mean the shop planet like the manufacturers, I mean from the earth, then you are pretty much good to go. Sweet potatoes, quinoa, and things like that. always make sure when you have a carb, pair it with the protein. All right. Just remember that as a quick rule of thumb. And I want you to eat enough carbs to feel steady and satiated. I don't want you white knuckling anymore through cravings or skipping meals, because that tanks your blood sugar level and raises your cortisol and tells your body to, guess what? Store fat. All right. So eating more of the right foods doesn't just shift your weight for the better. It calms your nervous system. It improves your sleep, and it restores your energy. And all this will give you the breakthrough to get rid of that unwanted fat. And this change alone of dieting to fueling, I mean, I just can't tell you, it breaks people's plateaus. It drastically reduces weight on you. You will be amazed and happy with the results. So I also want you to focus on your midlife body and beyond in terms of dialing in your muscle. Okay, so that's my next step, because we've spoken about the protein, but you add the protein with adding muscle to your body. Your muscle is like Spanx, natural Spanx. Okay, it's going to boost your metabolism. It's like having a secret weapon against perimenopausal weight gain. But here's the kicker, girlfriends. After 40, we start losing it. All right. And by the time we're 50, most of us have lost 15% of our lean muscle. And that's a really massive reason why your workouts and your old eating behaviors have stopped working for you. I had another client, Maria, who was running marathons, but still couldn't lose the belly fat. And we shifted her focus to strength training. And she was amazed how quickly her body transformed. So what works now? So what we want to do is we want to focus on 30 to 40 grams of protein per meal, especially breakfast, because in the Journal of Nutrition study found that women over 40 who ate 30 grams of protein at breakfast reported significantly fewer cravings and had better blood sugar control all day and less snacking at night. Okay, so that's what we want to focus on. And, you can just think Greek yogurt that has no sugar in it. Okay, there is nuts, eggs, spinach, Brussels sprouts, a slice of Ezekiel bread, toasted, and a big tablespoon of Greek live yogurt, and you are good to go. I have to say, it is a mindset shift to know that you can feel satiated and you feel good and just full, and you get that body recomp. It really is crazy. I mean, I'm excited for you to share it. And because I don't know, like we always think of dieting and you always think you have to be miserable and your belly's rumbling or whatever. So anyway, it's really good. So anyway, back to the exercise. So you've got your protein zeroed in on now, and now we're talking about strength training. So I want you to start doing this 2 to 3 times a week, okay, using what we call progressive overload. And that means that you're truly challenging your muscles up until they're tired, not just when you are sweaty. So again, this may mean adding weight, increasing reps, or trying more challenging version of whatever you're doing now. And if you're not used to exercising, of course, I want you to prime your body for a week or two before you start weight training, and make sure that you do the right things. And this is no matter who you are with your exercise. I want you to make sure you're doing the right things to help your body reset and repair correctly around your exercise schedule. Or no matter who you are, as I said, you will inadvertently sabotage yourself. And again, I have an entire walkthrough video on this, and I will drop that in the links below. The point is, you do not need boot camps. You do not need to go harder. You do not need to go crazy. Okay. And honestly, you don't even need a gym. I've never been to a gym in my life. I just have always found a place in my house to do it. And even when there was no room and I was in like a tiny place, I had to move the couch. All right. Yes, it's a pain, but just make it a habit. Anyway, enough of me going on about that. I cover it all in my video. As you can see, I'm so super passionate about it. The point is, you need to prioritize building and protecting your muscle so your metabolism stays strong and works for you and keeps your hormones balanced. And as I said, if you're not sure where to start, I've created also some beginner-friendly strength templates I use with my clients. Drop a comment if that's something you want below, and I will get them over to you. Now, this leads me to a really bad culprit, that an unseen culprit that so many of us miss, okay, and which is sabotaging us. And I've kind of intimated it on this video, but let's go for it. Have you guessed what it is? It's balancing your blood sugar levels. All right. So we're eating right and we're building our muscle. But then what about those energy crashes and those cravings that seem to come out of nowhere? That is where your blood sugar comes in. And unfortunately, when we go into the hormonal transition of perimenopause and menopause and beyond, and in fact, a week before your period is the same unfortunate deal, your blood sugar level becomes a bigger deal than ever before. And it's just really crappy that that's the way it is, but that's the way it is. You literally cannot cope with carbs in the same way as you did before that age. So it is your full-time job, my darlings, to keep your sugar balanced. All right. In fact, countless research studies show that if throughout the day, if you let your blood sugar levels spike and dramatically drop instead of just a gentle curve, it causes severe, and I mean severe, perimenopause and menopause symptoms. This is why, for example, if you start your day with a sugary breakfast and then eat a nutritious salad at lunch, you will still feel exhausted and you will still feel snacky an hour or so later. It's like your body is on a roller coaster and you cannot get off it. But there is the good news. There are some very simple habits, and I know I've addressed them in many of my videos before, but I'm going to whip you through them one more time here, okay? There are some very simple habits that you can start today that are free, that you can do. They are simple. You just got to implement. Okay, so let's go through it. Number one, pair every carb that you eat, even if it's an apple, all right, because that's still a sugary carb to some degree, with a protein. You can add some nut butter or some yogurt to it, okay, as long as it doesn't have sugar. Next, and I just want to reiterate why it's first. This literally slows down the release of glucose into the bloodstream, preventing those energy spikes and crashes, all right? So remember, carb, eat protein, all right? Protein and if you have it, a vegetable. All right. Number two, never, ever drink coffee on an empty stomach, ladies. You cannot do that. It spikes your cortisol, crashes your energy. So what I want you to do instead in the morning, if that's your go-to that you like to do, is have a protein-rich breakfast before your coffee or with your coffee. And by the way, don't feel badly about the coffee because it's super, super good for you. It is a polyphenol, so we want that coffee, all right? It's good for you. It feeds the gut microbiomes in your tummy. So it's good, but just don't have it by itself. Number three, walk for 10 minutes after your meals. The research is clear on this. This lowers your blood sugar levels immediately and helps use your carbs for energy and doesn't store them as fat because your muscles are working. They're sucking in any of those sugars, all right, instead of sending them to sit on fat around your body, all right? I literally have had clients that have lost 5 pounds in a month just by tweaking their breakfast, right? And just by walking after meals. It's that powerful. Ladies, this is not about clean eating. It's about eating smart for your hormones. And that leads us to the most underutilized weapon for women of our age. And that it goes beyond diet and exercise. And I just cannot stress to you the importance of how overlooked this is and how just critical it is for change for you. It's stress, all right? It's a cycle. It's a physiological response to stress. Stress is going to sabotage your weight loss efforts. Full stop. All right. So the next step I want you to work on is to build stress resilience into your daily routine. All right. Again, it's not emotional. I mean, it is emotional, but it's not just emotional. It's chemical. And in perimenopause, it fuels fat storage. And also, unfortunately, in perimenopause and menopause, we tend to be less resistant to stress. So we tend to get anxious more easily. Here's what I want you to know. Your body is not going to release the weight if it thinks you're in danger. And that's what stress is. Okay. So think of it as a survival mechanism. But when we get busy, we've got careers, kids, aging parents, the whole caboodle. It's a lot. All right. So this isn't just about a bubble bath. That's not going to do it for you. All right. On its own. That's lovely. Da da da. But we need practical steps for stress management. So what you want to focus on are sleep. All right. Sleep impacts belly fat more than we realize. And new research confirms this over and over again. All right. So I want you to, in fact, if I remember rightly, I think there's new research from England that showed just in 2 nights, it can disrupt insulin sensitivity and raise cortisol, leading to fat storage in the belly. So, I mean, let me emphasize how much you really do have to focus on getting good night's sleep. So create a relaxing bedtime routine. Avoid screens before bed. I know a lot of this makes sense, but write it down, make it a habit. All right. Avoid screens before bed. Make sure your room is dark, quiet, and as cool as possible, and support better sleep naturally with the food that you're eating as well. So with dinner, you want to go for foods which are rich in magnesium, like leafy greens and beans and cumin. All right. Next step, create 2 to 5 minute pause points in your day. So this is step 2 of we're trying to address our stress. Okay. We want to find those pause points in your day. No phone, no multitasking, just breathe. Just be in peace with yourself. Find that moment. You can try a simple breathing exercise like inhale for 4, hold for 4, and exhale for 4. I know it sounds dead, stupid, simple, easy, but my God, the data shows that breathing works. All right. So don't just overlook it and try and think of something more fancy. Breathing is incredible for stress resilience. All right. Number 3, take small nature breaks outside. Even 10 minutes outside lowers cortisol. So you could just step outside for a moment, go for a walk in the park, sit under a tree, or simply go to a window and look outside it and just take in that greenery. All right. So this is so good for you. Again, the data shows that it really calms your nervous system, which then boosts your metabolism. If you are constantly stuck, girlfriend, in go mode, your body is going to hold on to fat because it thinks it's saving your life. Okay. This is why women come to me saying, I've tried everything and nothing's working. But when we fix the stress and the blood sugar, boom, the weight loss just kicks in. It's incredible. And it's not just the weight loss. You just feel a really better version of yourself. And that leads me to the next step, which doesn't get shared a lot because it's not a sexy part, but it's so fundamental. And it's how to support your body's natural detoxification process. And again, this isn't about restrictive cleanses. It's about nourishing your liver and your gut. All right. So your next step is support digestion and detox. So if you're not pooping daily, if you're feeling bloated and you're getting headaches around your cycle, it may well be that your body is not clearing out the old estrogen effectively. And that estrogen, well, that means belly fat, because estrogen dominance equals belly fat, but will not budge. All right. It doesn't know what to do with it. The body doesn't know what to do with it. So it says, oh, all right, I'm just going to go and stick it on the belly. That's how it works. So here's the real detox plan. I want you to add cruciferous vegetables like broccoli, kale, cabbage, Brussels sprouts. I want you to add them to your diet. All right. Again, that video I was talking about fiber, that really covers in detail what you should be doing for this aspect. Next, I want you to, dead simple, stupid, I know, but I want you to focus on hydration. Minimum 2 liters of water a day. You want to flush out those toxins and keep your digestive system moving. And you can have bitters or lemons, like bitter foods like dandelion tea or lemon water before meals to help stimulate your digestion. This can improve your nutrition absorption as well and reduce bloating. Another one that I have just been so converted on this, and that's fermented foods like sauerkraut or kefir. These are rich in probiotics, which support gut health and digestion. This has literally been so powerful for me. I take a bite of sauerkraut 3 times a day with my food, right? Amazing. They're rich in probiotics. Again, know I've emphasized this, but you have got to focus on those. All right. This isn't about a 3-day juice cleanse. This is about something that we can do to support our liver and gut daily. All right. And that we can build up and balance our hormones and eliminate fat promoting waste. All right. Okay. So now for the bonus tip. If you've implemented all these strategies and still aren't seeing results, it's time to dig deeper with functional testing. You may well have, and I've seen this a lot with my clients, you may well have had doctors look at your lab results and I say, well, everything looks normal, because you're in perimenopause. Oh, I don't think you're in perimenopause or menopause. It's too early. But you're feeling exhausted, you're feeling foggy, you're feeling bloated, you're getting belly fat, you're getting these symptoms. And I hear this so much, and it's incredibly frustrating to be dismissed when you know something isn't right. But the truth is that standard lab tests often miss the early signs of dysfunction, right? Which is a negative part of perimenopause and menopause. It's those symptoms that come up. That's why I guide my clients to functional testing. So what I want you to do with that for functional testing is I want you to get the labs to focus for your cortisol, your thyroid, your insulin, and your estrogen patterns. Because once we see what's really going on, then we can create a plan that actually works. It's like having a personalized roadmap to your health. Listen, darlings, I know how frustrating this can feel to try everything, eat better, move more, and just not see the results. If it just can feel so bloody depressing, all right? It feels like this could be the next chapter of life. What is the point? And it can feel like you're just running in circles with no ends in sight. But your body, I promise you, is not fighting you, is protecting you, is simply responding to the signals you're giving it. And now you have to have a different approach, all right? And tell it it's safe to let it go. And if you're ready, darlings, to stop spinning in circles and finally unlock your body's potential, I want to help you personally. Please do book a free clarity call with me using the link below. And honestly, we'll look at your symptoms, your routines, and we can create a clear plan, one, darlings, that fit your life and finally get you the results. I mean, imagine feeling energized, confident, in control. It took me so much time. I made so many mistakes myself after 7 children, and I had a complete and utter metabolic syndrome breakdown. All right. I know what it is. Honestly, I've been through it all, and I can just skip you all the horrible, hard stuff. Okay. Anyway, yeah, sorry, I get passionate. So listen, if you don't have to give up your favorite foods, you can have a really fantastic life. And if that looks like that's something you want help with, then please do go to the link below, get a Candly, let's talk, and I will help you. Also, of course, please do subscribe to this channel to support the free, great content I'm getting out for women like us. It's no more BS, all right? It's emotionally grounded support each week. And of course, please do drop a comment. Which step of the steps I've given you today are you going to start? Let's get accountable and help the community. I read every comment and I really do love hearing from you. You've got this, and I'm with you every step of the way. See you in the next one. Bye, darlings.